Jamaicans are ambitious people. We want to see our country grow. We want to be able to enjoy the beauty and tranquility of our country, free of crime and violence.
Hence the work being done to tackle the challenges of crime and low economic growth. As we make the most of the Easter holiday, be reminded that the government is taking targeted actions to ensure that Jamaica remains on track to becoming the place of choice to live, work, raise families and do business. Your favorite magazine program starts right now.
What is the National Identification System? The new National ID will for the first time give Jamaicans one ID that is trusted and verifiable. This means easier access to government services like PATH and NIS. It will be easier to do business with the government and the private sector. Eventually, there will be no need to walk with more than one ID. Support the new National ID. Get the facts at nidsfacts.com or on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at nidsfacts.
This government in particular has been very sensitive to the changing demographic and social profile of our population.
And to continue government's responsiveness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently held a social media town hall. The highlights are next.
Welcome to Jamaica House and our first virtual town hall for the year. This is really your opportunity to get a chance to ask the burning questions on the burning issues that you have. And I have assembled here today some support. I have with me the Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, and our newly minted Member of Parliament, Nigel Clark. The real challenge with agriculture is resilience. And so the government is now focusing on how we can build resilience in agriculture. And that is something that I have given directions to the Minister of Agriculture to do the necessary work and develop the necessary policies around. The Minister of Agriculture will have a substantial presentation to make in the sectoral debate, so I would encourage you to listen.
I think that it would be a great opportunity for medium and large entities to support small farmers in terms of facilitating storage space by renting sections of their facilities to farmers with the support of the GOJ.
A government that is constrained in terms of resources, it wouldn't make sense for the government to take its capital to put storage facilities in place. The idea would be to do one of the two I just mentioned, either to incentivize it happening or through moral suasion to get private sector actors to do that.
You would have heard about what we intend to do in Morant Bay, what we're going to be doing in Falmouth. There are other plans for Ocho Rios and Negril. And essentially, what we have found in examining these rural townships is that they have outgrown the physical infrastructure and planning that was initially laid for them. What we have to do is literally build in proximity to those towns new town centers, purpose-built, well-planned for smart city, green technology, and for easy access and traffic. And that we have 3 projects now on stream to do that. The policy of this government, and certainly what I stand for, is that public resources, taxpayers' money, should never be distributed on partisan political consideration.
The digital economy is critical for Jamaica to actually remain relevant in today's world. ICT is a critical pillar for economic growth and development, and as such, we have embarked on a number of initiatives geared towards that. You will have seen where the government itself, we have moved to a more inclusive approach as relates to communicating with our citizens. In fact, All government websites are now zero rated, all 256 government websites. We started a program, Top 1000 Technology Advancement Program, that seeks to train and employ some 1,000 young persons between the ages of 18 to 35, where they'll be trained in ICT. And in that process, they will also contribute to nation building through the digitization of government documents. And so, as part of that program, they will also get certification from the Caribbean Maritime University. So it is a holistic approach that we are taking here as relates to creating that knowledge-based society, as relates to creating employment opportunities and giving our young people real work experience, and also giving them the necessary certification.
I have been of the belief that the government, the present one and even previous administrations, have treated the crime problem in Jamaica from a symptom point of view.
The crime fighting plan and strategy of this government is not just relying on the police, and it is not just relying on the usual strategies that are employed in fighting crime. We are using other methods. We are expanding partnerships in crime fighting, and we are taking a whole of government approach. The results won't come overnight, but I am absolutely confident that the strategies that we are putting in place will yield the desired result. The government has to remain focused. The government has to be resolute. The government has to keep the public support, and the government has to find ways to provide the resources.
Are there any plans in the future that could see both political parties collaborating more and fusing together in solving Jamaica's issues once and for all?
We have now resumed the Vale Royal talks, which started back in the 2000s, which brought the two political parties together to discuss critical national issues and to come to some consensus. I've restarted that, and next month we will have our first meeting of the two political parties. So we are hoping that we can build a consensus on the way forward on critical national issues, which include some constitutional issues. But I'm also hoping that we could get consensus on policies, specifically on national security and on growth policies. Those are really policies that would have to be reviewed not just by Customs, but by the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, having to do with our duty and valuation regime. And I think it has come to the level where those things would have to be reviewed. So my short answer is yes. One of the reasons why we moved from direct to indirect taxes is that it is an easier tax to collect than having to go individually, specifically to collect from each point. We have seen an increase in our tax revenues.
Each time you're not paying full attention to the road environment, the greater your chances of getting in a crash like that. Plan routes to avoid focusing on GPS systems, prevent children from roaming in motor vehicles, turn down the volume of car stereo systems, pull off the roadway if you have to use mobile devices, do not read, watch television or eat while driving, avoid multitasking, and keep conversations with other passengers to a minimum. Whether you walk, ride or drive, avoid potentially fatal distractions.
Road safety is an integral part of ensuring that the island meets its developmental goals by reducing the number of road crashes and its adverse effects on the health sector. Learn in this next feature how to make full use of the features in vehicles designed with your safety in mind.
Active safety refers to systems that helps to avoid an accident, while passive safety refers to features that minimize the injury to occupants of a motor vehicle when it is involved in a crash. These active safety systems are the steering and the braking of the motor vehicle that are operated by the driver, while the passive safety features are like the airbag and seatbelt that is activated by the vehicle itself when it is involved in a crash.
And speaking of a crash, it is important to buckle up at all times, because not only does a seatbelt save lives, but it helps to prevent lifetime and long-term injuries.
It's very important to wear the seatbelt. In case of an accident, the seatbelt will keep you from going forward.
In case of sudden impact, you don't, fly from the seat or from the vehicle, so it keeps you stabilized.
And if you don't wear the seatbelt, you can be prosecuted. So it's very important to drivers to always wear a seatbelt because it saves life.
Under the Road Traffic Act, you can be fined $500 and 2 points if you are caught driving without wearing a seatbelt. The same fine applies if your vehicle is not fitted with seatbelts. And then there's a penalty of $800 for not ensuring the safety of your passengers.
Persons must remember that the seatbelts are installed in the vehicle as a safety device to minimize the injury that you might receive in the event of a collision. So persons who are wearing the seatbelt in this fashion, right, this is not the correct way. The seatbelt must be worn right across your shoulder. If the seatbelt is too high based on your height, then it can be adjusted to fit right across your shoulder. And if you are a tall person, it can also be adjusted so that it fits you as best as possible for your own safety.
Children are precious and their safety must be taken into consideration when traveling in a motor vehicle. So if they are too small, a child or booster seat must be used. This is recommended for children under the age of 7.
You should also make sure that it is firmly fitted in the vehicle, allowing for minimal forward or sideways movement. Let us use these safety devices to help protect our children from death and serious injuries in road crashes.
The purpose of the headrest is to support the neck and the head. And in case of an accident, your head would be going back way.
I think where whiplash is concerned, it give you protection from that also.
It don't make your neck strain or it hurts, it just relaxable. So you're more comfortable, so you concentrate on the street more.
The headrest is sometimes mistaken for a luxury feature, but it is actually another valuable safety feature on your vehicle. The headrest or head restraint is actually to minimize or prevent a whiplash injury during a collision. It should be adjusted to the height of the driver and passenger's head, and there should be at least 2 inches between your head and the headrest.
This is the highest this particular headrest can be extended. So this will be okay. So in the event of a crash and the vehicle is stopped suddenly, on impact, the seatbelt will restrict your forward movement and the headrest will restrict the backward movement to avoid any whiplash injury. During a collision, the airbag acts as a cushion that minimizes or prevents injury.
What the airbag does is to reduce the speed of the forward movement of the occupant. The airbag is designed to inflate rapidly in moderate to severe crashes and provide protection to the occupants' bodies when they strike interior objects such as the steering wheel or a window. However, for proper protection, persons should be correctly restrained with a seat belt.
During a collision, on impact with an object at a speed as low as between 16 and 24 kilometers per hour, the airbag inflation system acts on two gases, sodium azide and potassium nitrate, which produces a nitrogen gas that inflates the airbag and suddenly deflates the airbag within a second on contact with the occupant.
Most vehicles carry two airbags to the front, one in the steering wheel and the other on the dashboard on the passenger side. But in high-end vehicles, you will find up to 8 airbags at various locations to the front, rear, and even to the sides. Airbags were designed for one use only, and therefore once it has been deployed, you must have new ones installed. Reusing airbags is a dangerous practice.
You've often heard it said that children should travel in the back of the vehicle, and here's one of the reasons. It is because they are too small to handle the impact of the airbag, so take these tips into consideration.
You should never put a rear-facing child seat in the front seat of a car with an airbag. But make sure all children are buckled up no matter where they sit. Unbuckled children can be hurt or killed by an airbag. Do you know where the crumple zones are located on a vehicle and what's their purpose?
You know, to be honest with you, I don't know.
They're immediately front of the vehicle. Where the passenger or the driver would be, that part would take the impact away from it.
The crumple zone on a vehicle are located to the rear and the front. In a crash, these two areas are so designed to crumple so that it minimizes the effect of the crash on the occupants and sort of preserve the cabin area that the occupants are located in.
These areas are designed to deform, hence the word crumple, upon impact, so that the force from the crash is transferred into the bodywork of the vehicle and not to the body of the occupant. The crumple zones are also designed so that damage to the cabin area of the vehicle is limited during a crash. These areas also help to slow down the crash so that the occupant's motion is contained and they are not thrown around.
This is a vehicle with a frontal damage. And if you notice the front area here, this is actually the crumple zone, which is located to the front. And the effect of this collision actually caused the entire front to crumple inward. And as you can see in the center here, this is typical of a pole impact. And this impact, this crumple, will be the same that would be seen at the rear of the vehicle if this vehicle was involved in a rear impact collision. These areas are so designed that they actually sacrifice themselves during a collision to actually secure the cabin area of the vehicle where the occupants are located. This area will for most part remain intact to minimize the effect of the collision and lessen the injury to the occupants themselves.
Buckle up when you drive, protect your children with child and booster seats, and strap them down well. Adjust your headrest and never reuse an airbag.
We urge you to practice safe road use while you visit this next attraction site with your family.
The water slide and the splash pad is amazing. Woo!
The water slide is very fun, especially when you reach the turn. When it goes fast, you really would enjoy it a lot. And the splash pad, oh my God.
Dunn's River Falls and Park is well known for its over 600 feet of cascading waterfall along its white sand beach. The world's famous attraction provides the unique opportunity for adventure seekers to climb the falls and as such is ranked among the must-do activities for visitors and residents alike. Now, visitors can take advantage of a new experience, the Central Garden, which caters to children and adults.
When we segment our customer groups coming into the park, we have able-bodied persons, we have children, we have those that want a little bit more of a slower space. They are not necessarily able to climb a 600-foot fall, but they also want to participate in nature, getting back to nature.
The area was once a customer parking lot but has been transformed into a cluster of 3 lush gardens with a water slide and splash pad as its central features. And the response is tremendous.
They're coming in numbers and you can just listen. It's one of the wonderful things when you have children laughter. Children are coming, both our residents who expect to come and our guests from overseas. Everybody's enjoying it.
I think it's amazing, it's nice, I love it.
I am enjoying myself. I had so much fun.
The Central Gardens is outfitted with 12 wood-overlaid kiosks which add a rustic aura to the space and will serve as commercial outlets for Dunn's River Falls and Park branded merchandise, a photo shop, ice cream, pizza, and other commodities. The project represents an investment of approximately $122 million by the Urban Development Corporation UDC, which manages the attraction through the Sintan Development Company. Construction was carried out by Chin's Construction Limited, while the UDC provided design and project management services.
It's really a tremendous feat and a tremendous economic opportunity right here for Sintan, and in particular Ocherias. The fact is that we're looking at 800,000 visitors annually. And we anticipate that this Central Garden will carry us over that million mark, which has been so elusive for so long.
The management here, the craft vendors here, the fall guides here, all the people here that interface with the guests have been able to produce an experience that tops each and every other attraction in Orchard.
We are indeed committed to surpassing the customer's expectations and the experience in this space. It is a world-famous attraction which we intend to apply continuous improvement, innovation, and bring value-added experiences and bold marketing initiatives.
Major upgrades over the years include the installation of an electronic ticket management system as well as the construction of a jetty to facilitate arrivals by boat. A ticket office and entry courtyard have also been put in place to foster an enhanced entrance experience for guests. As the upgrade continues, the use of e-commerce through the Dunn's River Falls and Park website is on the horizon. The park is open to the public daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on cruise ship days. The entry rate for non-residents is $20 for persons ages 13 years and over and $12 for children ages 4 to 12 years. Residents with supporting IDs ages 13 years and older currently enjoy a discounted rate of 600 Jamaican dollars, and children ages 4 to 12 years will pay 300 Jamaican dollars. The Urban Development Corporation upgrading recreation facilities to world-class standard. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 656-8031 or visit their website at www.udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next Prime Minister.
Children in Jamaica constitute anyone who is under the age of 18 years. And so once you have a child who is under your care and supervision, we encourage you at the Office of the Children's Advocate to always know where your children are. It doesn't mean that you have to be there with them, but you certainly know who they're with, where they're going, and the purpose for being there. This is a key component in helping to establish some rules in terms of some ground rules and helping to guide your children towards responsible and sensible choices, and also assisting you if something were to go wrong to know what is the first point of contact to assist your child. While you're not to look at everybody as a potential suspect, that you need to be very wary of adults, whether they're in positions of authority or not, that seek to want to have a very close relationship with your child. Somebody who wants to invite your child on an outing and it's just that adult and your child alone. Somebody who wants to take your child to a very special event to reward the child, perhaps for some performance that the child would have done in an extracurricular activity or for academic excellence. We encourage you to look at these situations very carefully and to determine whether or not it's an appropriate meeting or outing that this person is propositioning for your child. If you're enrolling your child in a daycare, ensure that you know something about the track record of that daycare. Ensure that the daycare has what we call an open door policy, which allows you to go in, see what's happening, observe how the workers there interact with the children, and know some of the ground rules that guide these interactions. If they're going on outings, whether it be school trips or otherwise, ensure that at some point, even if you can't go to all, you do attend some of them, so you get yourself integrated into the system and the culture of the school. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Watch what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister, cause she could be the next Prime Minister.
Adults, parents, listen up. Children depend on us, and we must not let them down. We must ensure we are imparting positive family values, give them the right start, and guide them along the way. Be involved in their educational development. Help them with their schoolwork. Acknowledge their achievements. Praise them. Point out where they go wrong. But please, don't curse them. Be an example of what you want them to be. Give a listening ear and talk positively to your child. Instill kindness. Give a hug so they can grow with love. As for you boys and girls, don't forget to honor your mother and father because they deserve it. Let's all do this and help make Jamaica the place of choice. And that's how we close out this edition of Jamaica Magazine. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Keep in touch, won't you? Email us, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. We're also available on all major social media platforms. If browsing is more your speed, just click on jis.gov.jm for this and other programs. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.